Welcome back. Simple interest, finding the amount. The amount in financial mathematics actually has a specific meaning. Generically, in the English language, the amount can mean anything. But in finance, we have principal plus interest is equal to the amount A. So if you invest $100 and earn $10 interest, $110, you go to the bank, get all your money at the end. That's what's called the amount. This is otherwise known as future value or maturity value. So those are synonyms. If you take a course in consumer finance or math of finance or whatever, those future value, maturity value, and amount are used interchangeably, just depending on the context. Now, we know that I is equal to PRT. You can make a substitution, then you can factor a P out, and then use this formula, A equals P times parentheses 1 plus RT. The 1 represents the original principal, RT times P as the interest. If you use this formula, it's a two-step process. Calculate I, add to P, get A. If you use this process, it's just one formula application. So we're going to break a problem down and solve it using both ways. What I call method 1 and method 2. I put method 1 over here so I have a little more space. We have $500 invested at 3% simple interest for 9 months, 3/4 of a year. Find the amount. Let's use method 1. This is what I call method 1. First of all, we use I equals PRT, and we identify the variables. The principal in this case is 500. Okay, the interest rate is 3%. And the time is equal to 9 over 12. And so we calculate I equals 500 times 0.03 times 9 over 12. Okay, we can go ahead and do a quick calculation with that. 500 times 0.03 times 0.75. And we end up getting $11.25. So we invested 500, we earned this interest. The amount is just $511.25. So I'll write that formula out. A equals P plus I. Let's define the variables. P is equal to 500. I is equal to 1125. A is 500 plus 1125 equals 51125. Okay, it's really a two-step process. Now method 2, that's method 1. Method 2, we're just going to use this formula. And this formula is useful and necessary because after we finish simple interest, we're going to study compound interest. And this formula really is a good prelude to compound interest. If you understand this, compound interest is just this formula over and over and over again. So that's why we're doing it. Method 2, let's state the formula. A equals P times 1 plus RT. Define the variables. Principal is equal to 500. The rate is equal to 3%. Convert to a decimal. T is equal to 9 over 12. And incidentally, if you want to convert that to 0.75 right off the bat, feel free to do that. And now we substitute. A is 500, 1 plus 0.03, 0.75. And then a good way to do this on a calculator, I'll show you two ways. You should figure out this in here. 1 plus 0.03 times 0.75 equals, and I get 1.0225. So you can rewrite this with that partial calculation. So we just said our 1 plus 0.03 times 0.75 equals. A scientific calculator will do the multiplication before the addition. If you have a really old calculator, an arithmetic-based calculator, you may have to do this and then add 1. It just all depends on the calculator. Some calculator apps on cell phones will do the operations in the order in which you put them in. So be careful. On a cell phone, you want to make sure that that it does the multiplication before the addition. And now we just do this one additional step, and we end up with 51125. Surprise, surprise. Okay, you can do this evaluation all at once on a scientific calculator 500 times parenthesis 1 plus 0.03 times 0.75 end parentheses equals. Whichever method floats your boat, it doesn't matter. But this is a little quicker. You can see it, state the formula, define the variable, substitute, calculate. Doing two-step formula processes can be complicated. So, okay, that's all for this. We'll be back. We're going to, next video, we're going to find this variable given the amounts. So.